All right, boys and girls, welcome to Chord Guitar. We have Wish Wednesday, beautiful Wednesday, and that means it's a possibility for you guys to wish for songs here on Chord Guitar and for me to bring them up and give it back to you. And before we move on with this specific song, I just want to mention that feel free to leave comments on wishes you had, because I'm planning to do a wish week, a whole week with just you guys who wish for different songs. So a big possibility for you to get your song here on Chord Guitar. But now let's go back and focus on this one. This is my man here, Gaini Marvinosha, or I'm not sure if it's pronounced in the correct way. Anyway, you know who you are. You wished for Skele's song called I'm Getting Really Good at Saying Goodbye. So I really understand that Skele has a great fan base here when it comes to wish for songs. Many have wished for Skele's song here. So this is my way of highlight a little something from Skele. All right. So this one is a great song, and it's very much based upon pickings like it normally is from Skele. And for this specific song, we don't need any capo, but we need to play in a drop D tuning. If you don't know how to do that, you can go on YouTube and watch a tutorial of that. I'm just gonna show you quickly how it sounds and how I do it to drop the D, the E string to a D, all right? So normally in a standard tuning, now it's dropped, okay? So I'm gonna go back to standard tuning. All right, so there we have standard tuning. All right, so for you to go down to drop D, normally that means you need to turn this knob here for this E string, lower E string, about 1/2 round towards you, all right? So that is normally a good, it's too much there. Yeah, there we have it. And it should match with the open D string, but just a lower register. So that will be the drop D tuning. Yeah, all right. So now we have the drop D tuning. If that was a bit too fast for you, watch a tutorial on that on YouTube. I believe there are about 252,000 different tutorials on that. So you can go and watch one. So now we're ready for this specific song. And I first want to give you the chords. I'm gonna show you how to do this in two different ways. The kind of main thing here is the melody, all right? And it goes over 2 rounds, you can say. I'm gonna explain that soon, what that means. But it's based upon kind of 2 different chords. I'm gonna give you 4, because the next 2 chords will just work as a bridge chord to the next one. Yeah, I will explain pretty much what it's all about. But first, let's look at the main 2 chords. And since this is a drop D tuning now, it will be a little bit different when I explain the names of this. So I will call this grip a G now, because this is a G note. It's normally isn't a G, it's an A normally, but now it's a G, so that is a G for me, all right? So the grip here for this G chord is on the 5th fret E string, the 5th fret A string, and the 4th fret D string. That is what you need for this chord. You can also incorporate the open G, okay? But don't go lower than the open G. All right, so that is the first G chord, 5th E, 5th A, and 4th D, and perhaps even the open G. All right, the next chord and final main chord, you can say, is the D, and that is basically just open strings. So open E, open A, open D, and try to avoid the G string here, only the 3. Sounds dark, deep, and nice. So that is the G and D chord. Now we can also add in This grip here, it's basically a bar on the second fret. It will be in standard tuning something like the F sharp, but you just use a bar there. Sounds like this. And the next grip will be on the 4th fret. It will be usually a G sharp. You just put a bar there on the 4th fret in the same way as the previous there. And there we have the two kind of bridge chords. But the main chords are the G and the D. All right, so that's what you need when it comes to the chords. Now we have a melody that is based upon these two chords mostly. And you also have this bridge chords dropped into this picking also. So I'm gonna show you. So we're gonna start with this position. And I suggest that you play this G chord and hold that grip with these fingers, which means your middle finger here on the D string, your ring finger up on the E string, and your little pinky on the A string. Because you need to reach out like this and use your index for that. So this is what you need to do here. This is the grip. All right. When you have that, you will play this part. All right. So that is 5th on E, 5th on A, 4th on D, 5th on A, 5th on E, and 5th on A. You will play that for 2 rounds, and that will be kind of the first part, okay? So to repeat this, 5th E, 5th A, 4th D, back to 5th A, 5th E, and 5th A. And you play that for 2 times, and that will be all right. Then we go to this grip, and what that is, you just release your 5th fret on E string and play that open, okay? So for now, we play that open, and we will pretty soon into this part reach out to the 2nd fret E string. So that's the idea here, playing open and 2nd pretty soon, but we'll start with the open, and this part will sound like this. All right, so that will be open E, 5th A, 4th D, 5th A, open E, and 4th D. We can stop there. We're about half into the 2nd part. So to repeat this, open E, 5th A, 4th D, back to 5th A, open E, 4th D. So together it sounds like this. All right, and then we continue with this part. All right, so that will be open E, 5th A, 4th D, 5th A, then 2nd E, this is where you reach out, and 5th A. All right, so now you understand why we need to hold this G chord here, G grip, with these fingers, because you need the index to go over there. To repeat the last part here in this 2nd part, it was open E, 5th A, 4th D, 5th A, 2nd E, 5th A. So together this part 2 sounds like this. Sorry. All right. So we're moving forward. The next part, part 3, is played in the same way as the part 1. So it starts in the same way, this 2nd round, you can say, but it's still one part of the one chord progression. So this chord progression is about 2 rounds and 4 different parts. So part 3 now is played in the same way as part 1, starts in the same way. So that means that's the part 1 and 3 now. So we have just the final part 4 left, and that one will be played like this. All right, so that is open E, 5th A, 4th D, 5th A, open E, and 5th A. We'll stop there. So we will repeat that part, the first part of the part 4, you can say, first half. So open E, 5th A, 4th D, 5th A, open E, 5th A. Together sounds. All right. And then we have the final half here, second half of this part 4. And this is reach out now to the 2nd fret E string. Sounds like this. Okay, so it's 2nd on E string, 5th on A, 4th on D, and then you take this index and slide it over to the 4th fret E string, 5th A, and 4th D. Okay, so from this grip you slide up to this one. So the second part was 2nd E, 5th A, 4th D, 4th E, 5th A, 4th D. So the part 4 together sounds like this. Yeah, all right. So that was the 4 parts, and that is pretty much the melody. I'm gonna take you through this. I'm gonna slow down a little bit so you really understand where we are, what we're doing, how it sounds. Slow down. So yeah, this is the melody. And in standard, a little bit faster. And so on. Something in that tempo. Yeah, so that was the melody. All right, so now we have the chords and the strumming left. All right, remember we had mainly 2 chords, and you can go with 2 strumming rounds per chord here, and that will be great in it if you want, the G and the D. All right, but we can also add in the bridge chords, or whatever you want to call them, the extra. I'm going to show you how to do that as well. But first we need to look at the strumming pattern. All right, so let's look at the strumming pattern with the G, since that is the first chord. 1 full round will sound like this: down, up, clap, up, down, up. Okay, so that is the feeling and the strumming. So down, up, that is part 1. Okay, so down, up. All right, and then part 2 will be clap, up, down, up. So together it will be down, up, clap, up, down, up. Yeah, so like I said, you can play 2 strumming rounds for G and 2 for D. That will be great. I'm going to demonstrate that first for you. yeah, that will cover one round of this melody, you can say, with all the 4 parts. G2, D2, G2, D2. All right. But you can also add in this bridge chords, which we actually have in the melody. Remember, when we reach out here to the 2nd fret, that is a variation of playing the chord like this F sharp chord, bridge chord, or this C sharp when you slide up from this one to this position. So it's you have the chords in there. They're not necessary when it comes to strumming, but it's great to know about them. Okay, so if you choose to play these chords, then the chord progression will be 2 strumming rounds for G, then 1 for D, and then part 1, the down up for the F sharp, this bar on 2nd fret, and part 1, the same down up for the G sharp. And that will be 1 round now. So G2, D1, F sharp part 1, G sharp part 1, and that will sound like this. And so on. Yeah, I don't have anything more left to say about this song. That pretty much covers Skele's. I'm getting really good at saying goodbyes. And I've done that a couple times, couple hundred times actually here on Chord on guitar. And that's what I'm about to do now. I hope you enjoyed it, especially you, Jamie Marvinosha, or something like that. Sorry if I'm butchering your name. And for all you Skele fans, I hope you enjoy this. And remember, again, just want to mention, we will have a Wish Week, not just Wednesday like this, a Wish Week. So we'll bring up wishes from you guys on Chord Guitar. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. I really appreciate all your support, and leave a comment and thumb up, all that good stuff. So hope to see you soon, guys, and don't forget, like always, play tuned.